Hello everyone. Long time no see in this virtual world. I'm usually active locally with my teaching and presence, and I like in-person interaction. But lately I have decided to be present more virtually and that way to get in touch with more folks. So for the first video, I would like to discuss this notion of spiritual practitioner that I use a lot. I use it a lot in my writing. I use it a lot in my interaction with students and clients and friends. I even have a Facebook group which is called 21st Century Spiritual Practitioners. And I noticed that sometimes that notion of spiritual practitioner causes a slight confusion in people's mind. And I want to communicate that with you. Sometimes actually I invite people to join the group and they're not quite sure that they belong there, and then they text me or Facebook message me, hey, are you sure that I belong here, and stuff like that. And I noticed that that notion of spiritual practitioner is actually used in a twofold sense. So the first sense in which the notion of spiritual practitioner is used is it usually designates someone who offers some services to others, spiritual in nature, usually in exchange for money. So those are spiritual teachers, advisors, coaches, healers, facilitators, and stuff like that. So you have a gift, you help people, and there is a money exchange and energy exchange on that level. So that's the one sense that the notion of spiritual practitioner is used. However, there is another sense in which notion of spiritual practitioner is used, which is not that strict. It basically designates a person who is passionate and wholehearted about spirituality and spiritual practice. As simple as that. And I use the notion of spiritual practitioner in this second sense. So for me, spiritual practitioners is everyone for whom spirituality and spiritual practice is important. And regarding that, I just want to add a few more clarifications. So how does one know that one is a spiritual practitioner? So what are the criteria? And I want to offer two criteria. The first one is the kind of no-brainer. The one is a spiritual practitioner if one feels this yearning and longing to be one with the source, to be one with God, to experience spirit fully, to express spirit fully. I mean, whatever word and concept you use, you know the feeling. If you're a spiritual practitioner, you know what I'm talking about. And if you are not, I guarantee you will recognize this yearning and longing once it kicks in. It becomes something very, very important for you. So that's the number one criterion for being a spiritual practitioner. There is this yearning and longing for the source, for God, for spirit, for spiritual awakening. And it's becoming important for you, and it's kind of starting informing and determining your life. So welcome to the club. It's a great ride and it's a great state of being. However, there is one more practical criterion for being a spiritual practitioner, especially in modern times, that I want to share with you. So present day spiritual situation is very peculiar, I would say. Starting from the 60s, we entered a very different age for being a spiritual practitioners. Before that, it existed only one form of being a spiritual practitioner. So when you feel this yearning, when you feel this longing, you basically go to monastery and study with the master. And usually you stay in the monastery your entire life. However, lately in modern times, and as I said, especially after 60s, the basic form of spirituality changed, and spirituality became something which is engaged with the world, which I think is a good news. It's a nice add to this monastic layer. However, there are some challenges there. So when you are a spiritual practitioner in the world, there are some challenges there. So how to keep that state of being a priority, because everyday life has its own gravity. There is money, there is sex, there is work, there is politics, there is corona, there is social media. So it's very easy for our attention to get hijacked into various realms of being, and we actually forget about this longing and about this yearning, which has to be one of the most important things in our lives. So the challenge for spiritual practitioners nowadays is actually how to balance this gravity of everyday life and being a spiritual practitioner, meaning still cultivating this yearning and longing. And here is a practical criteria that I offer to you to determine are you a spiritual practitioner or not. So if you're a spiritual practitioner, spirituality and spiritual practice is one of the 3 priorities in your life. So one of the 3 priorities in your life. For example, let's say your number 1 priority in life is family, number 2 priority in life is work, and number 3 priority in life is spirituality. Another example, let's say you are in graduate school. So number 1 priority for you is studying, number 2 priority, let's say spirituality, and number 3 priority, relationship. And one more example, let's say you are passionate about running and health. So you are a runner, you like the cardio way of being, you work, and number 3 is spirituality. If spirituality slips to number 4, number 5, number 7, number 10, I cannot guarantee you results. So that's the whole trick about it. And I'm speaking from personal experience as a spiritual practitioner myself, but also as a teacher and mentor who works with a lot of people. So once we put spirituality as one of the 3 criterions in life, and once we keep it there for a while, there is deepening, there is softening, there is more wisdom, there is managing challenges, etc. So there are results of spiritual practice. So I hope this helps. It's fairly simple. So number 1, there's this yearning, longing. Number 2, one of the 3 priorities is spirituality in your life. And maybe to conclude this video with, I would just like people to encourage to step on the spiritual path. I think that this time of global crisis is literally calling for that for 2 reasons. First, it's good for us internally to be at peace and to be equipped, because on the outside world there is lots of chaos going on and looks like it's not going to stop. We are going through a major transformation and we'll need to kind of withstand through that state of affairs on the outside. So it's good for you yourself to do spiritual practice. But spiritual practice is also a wonderful gift to the world in crisis. So I call this notion spiritual practitioner and not a spiritual seeker, for a very simple reason, is that practitioner is somebody who works on it but offers all the time, and seeker is somebody who is caught up into seeking and kind of waiting for offering. So what are you offering when you are a spiritual practitioner, when you practice spirituality? You're offering your presence, you're offering your vibration moment to moment, wherever you are. So being a spiritual practitioner nowadays is, I think, becoming literally a necessity internally for us to stay sane, and externally to offer something moment to moment to the world that is going through a major transition. So those are the 2 criteria for being a spiritual practitioner. I hope for those ones who are spiritual practitioners already that this helps, and I hope this inspires more folks to jump on the wagon and become spiritual practitioners. As I said, it's a great journey, it's a great life tool, and it's a great community, etc. I hope this helps. This is all for this video. I'll probably gear towards YouTube channel, so stay tuned. So why don't you let me know in the comments on YouTube what you think about it, and do you have any further questions? And also let me know if you have any other topics, spiritual in nature, as you would like to discuss as I continue posting those videos. Thanks for your attention. I hope this helps, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much. Bye bye.